Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Let's see. What shall we do today? Got a little voice, visualizer at the bottom there. Still tuning it in, so give me a moment. Let's play around with it. See, I can still hear me breathe at the end. Right there. Testing. I wonder what the low is. Let's see. Let's go back to about 30 hertz here for the low. So let's go back to zero. What does zero look like? It's not too bad. For volume, maybe we increase the floor. Testing. Oh, that's better. Let's do negative 60 decibels. Test. Not too bad. Negative 50. Okay. This is at negative 43. Seems to be okay. I like round numbers. Let's do negative 40. How is negative 40? And the floor. Is that the floor of, I think that's the pitch and not the volume. Good morning, Nightshade Dude. I'm playing around with things. There's a high cutoff, a low cutoff. Oh, I could bring this on screen. Let's see. It's should be the same thing. You have the high pitch on the bottom right. So if I hiss into it, be like an S sound. That'll be on the bottom right. The low, this had been much higher. Yeah, and this is plugin for OBS. This I think was way down here. It definitely lights up quite a bit more. So, wow. It's just hearing everything. I think that's too much. How about here? It's picking up some high tones that, well, I don't hear. 80. Testing. Let's go to like 60. Test. That's not bad. Maybe we leave it there. I want something that's animated. Yes, you can adjust it to remove the very high and very low. So you have the high cutoff and the low cutoff. So at this point, I'm leaving the low, and I've cut off about 8,000 on the high. So if we give it the whole range, you'll see that it doesn't quite get to the high, even if I hiss. Well, that could be just fine, but I felt that it didn't. Actually, I look at it this morning with this mic, and it seems okay. Maybe we leave that. the floor, this seems to be volume, right? Decibels. And after I stop talking, if I breathe towards the mic, like right there, I don't know if you hear me breathing, but it'll persist. A bit? Okay. Well, hey, at least it's accurate then. It took me a while to kind of get these pieces set up. Target volume, maximum gain. Well, let's leave it. It's there. If anything, I think it should probably be a little larger. There we go. Boop, 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 boom. Hey. Okay, testing 1, testing 2. See, I could deal with this. This is okay. If anything, I would want to adjust the mic so that you don't hear me breathing. I have noise suppression enabled. I have a compressor. Let's leave it. Tis what it is. Okay. Back to coding. I hear we do that around here. Let's see, I want to move this up there. Lovely. Okay. I think I'm ready. So let's see. Where are we? Oh, interesting. I have changed. I kept thinking about this. And I think that this stream database updates, we still didn't get it right. I kept poking at it. I think that this, well, let me show you what I came up with. Stream database request will give you the name of the database. It will give you from where it wants you to start, or you will give it from where you want it to start, with an optional end. And if you give it this range, then it will not go from kind of left to right, but it could go in any order, just sending you the pages it thinks you need. So instead of doing this left to right piece that we were talking about yesterday, it would simply give you the pages as it ran across them in a leftward motion, not giving you the database checksum as it did. Okay. Maybe I missed something. I just found something. But then, if you just wanted to stream the database, it would give you the same results with the database checksum. So in one case, the database checksum is used if you're actually streaming the changes to the database. Okay. Let's add a little comment here for our future selves. If the range for a DB stream has an end, do not send the DB checksum. Okay. That seems pretty good. I wonder if that picked up my clicking. Testing the mic again. I changed the noise cancellation. Let me know if that was better or worse. Yeah, it still hears the inhale. So strange. I don't hear me inhaling, but it does. And now this bothers me. Now that I can see it on screen, that little at the end. Oh, is it picking up the heater going? I wonder if it's picking up the heater as well. Or like my mustache hitting the microphone. Okay. Anyhow, I will try to ignore me watching me. It's going to take some time. Okay, but those are the changes I came up with. Oh, you don't hear the inhale. Yeah, right. Like you don't hear your own inhale. Maybe it's because you've lived with it your whole life. Yeah. Can I get a drink? Finish my kombucha. So, stream database updates. This is called from this sync database function. As we go to sync a database, we check to see if it exists. If it does not exist, we download it, and then we stream the database changes. Maybe this should be optional, the DB info. Probably. So we want to be able to tell it, get a range or get the stream. Let's make that optional. Okay. In this case, we would want it to have an end, and that's this. And I don't really like the that we're passing this in. It feels like we should be passing in the DB checksum off of that thing, and not that thing itself. As a DB info gives us a database information response. A database information response has the page size. and the DB checksum. We only need the page size if we are creating the database on disk. Fascinating. Oh, my heater kicked off. Is it because it was done heating the room or something else? I'm going to poke it. I'll be right back. Nope. It gave up the ghost. So. Let's just give this a DB checksum. There's a DB checksum. This would be sum or dot into. Oh no, this one would be a none. And technically, we could move that down to the bottom where it had been. Because we download the database and then we stream it without an end. Okay. This one. Let's change the interface. It's a U32, I think. What is it? What is it upset about? This function returns a result. Ah, this is because there's an error somewhere else. And we need the from checksum. Okay. Back to where we had been quite a while ago. Oh, no. I think I did this off camera last night. So we have this thing where we need to give it the beginning. Like, where do we start streaming from? And when this application starts up, it checksums all of its databases. It has yet to start streaming anything. So we need to get the current checksum and pass that in as well. However, this isn't actually the current checksum yet. This data type here, which is, how do we turn those on and off? Z type hints. Let's see. Key bindings. What if we search for hint? Control colon? Toggle inlay hints. Interesting. Oh, it's control. Yes, control shift Z on my keyboard. Okay. Control shift Z tells us that this is a pages object, but we want not that. We want a piece inside of it. So this returns an option to pages. Ah, this is probably where the error is. Because if this doesn't exist, then it was deleted between the call to this function and now. I think it's safe to probably do an expect on that or map that to some interesting error. And then we ask for the checksum. The name, though, that's supposed to be the path. Let db path is equal to self dot client. Oh, we don't have this. Why don't we know where the path is? Oh, it's called appdb path. In this context from Sync Manager, the Sync Manager is pointing at a different directory that is being used by the application. So that makes sense. We have our DB path. Current checksum goes there. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, DB info. Oh, we're not doing that anymore. Hey, Musean. Happy Thursday. How's the UI project going? So we have our DB path, current checksum. We make a request. Expected U32. I thought we were making this optional. We have the database piece here. Optional. What does this mean? Oh, I forgot to save it. It's going well. All right. Almost ready to merge it into the dev branch and start to document it. Oh, nice. Nice. Out of curiosity, have you tried out Zed? Oh, you read it how it renders. Interesting, a WGPU or HTML5 canvas backend one day. And WGPU can target a canvas, can't it? It worked out there. Okay. Yeah. That's pretty cool. I imagine for the UI you're building, you don't actually need to use WGPU to target canvas. I mean, in theory, right? Because it's mostly, well, it's Oh, okay. Before you were just using WebGL and 2D contact stuff? Gotcha. This is the first time I've actually used something optional in protobuf object in Rust. And it is telling me that it's expecting a U32. Let me double check. Yeah, on the 2, 1, 2, 3, string uint, optional uint. To. Oh, yes, yes. I remember those interfaces. The teletype plotter style interface. It's very much like SVG. That's the one that sticks out in my mind at the moment. Now you can render to a paint list of shapes. Nice. A text rasterizer. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Oh, it does say that it's optional. Okay, so Z is just not up to date. Click to restart and update Z. Do we do it? Let's do it. And you didn't sacrifice performance. The term rasterizer doesn't use a paint list, but surface access for the old style renderer. That's pretty cool. Failed to load workspace. Okay, maybe there is something going on. This font, goodness, I don't even know what font this is. Zex Plex Mono. Never heard of it. As for Zed, yeah, he tried it out about 15 minutes. I kept hitting the VS Code key bindings. And it wasn't doing a thing. Oh, yes. So it thinks that it concurs with Zed. Why is that? Data proto. Cargo build data proto. See, here it is optional. So why is this piece not working? Stream database request. Wait, click to restart and update Zed. Didn't we already do that? You're sure you can get them working in Z, but it looked like VS Code and felt like it, but it wasn't it. It's funny. Oh, Rust Analyzer likes to break all of the time. Z seems to be up to date. Tell us, what new goodies do we have? Added scroll bar. That's quite a bit. We don't need to start that. We need to start this. Oh, this notification is broken. Yeah. Because it did load the workspace. It just, and it's telling me the correct things, the same things that I get from the command line tool. Is it an option? So on stream database request, it's an option, and end checksum, is an option. Brilliant. Yeah, no, you were right. You were right. I probably would have figured that out by saying, like, let end checksum U32 equals end checksum. Right? And that probably would have told me. It's only the same difference with absdiff. So true. All right, so we send the request, and then what do? We get a stream of DB updates to apply. Now, when we download the database, where was that? Is that here? Looks like it might be. Download database. We open the file and we start to write pages. So we go to a point in the database. We validate the checksum of the data that we've downloaded. So that could be higher up, couldn't it? We could do that before we seek. I think it should be above. How far above? First thing? Yeah, first thing. Then we write the data to the file. Dun, dun, dun. So it's this here. It's basically what we need. We need to go to a specific point in the file and write some amount of data. we also need to validate the checksum. Fancy. It's almost as if we could use the same exact code. This is the snafu crate. It is. Yeah, it's interesting. I've been trying it out. I do like that you get to add a little bit of context to errors. Sometimes, I'm rather lazy with it early in the morning, personal project. Right? But it does give some, additional context upon occasion. And I like that the errors are defined in a file and that you can wrap them in other files and whatnot. So you can kind of build a hierarchy of them. This error plus display doc, I completely understand. Actually, I want to see. Yes, one word. That's pretty cool. It's nice. Oh, well, was I on mute? Hmm. You always miss the best stuff on mute. Okay. We will probably want something this extracted. Oh, that's right. We need to update ChecksumDB. This should probably be self.writeDB page. Because we need to update DB page, sorry, the DB checksum structure whenever we mutate the database. We'll have to come back and do that. The tests should break because of that eventually. And what do we have here? This is the other place where we were writing handle database updates. We were going to call self.write DB page. Sure. Something like that. Stream database request. What was it? No, it's a database page. Page number, data, checksum. No. Interesting. So we have page data, and checksum. Consistency much? There and here. Oh, and DB checksum, which is optional, of course. We won't actually use it here. Or will we? Stream database updates. No, we will. We will. Oh, you can use it for other stuff as well. If you ever do a lot of display stuff, you use it. It's from the IR project. I like that code. I hardly ever use it, though. I don't know why. I think it just doesn't have the mind share for me. Oh, funny. I just got this text message. Spam. All right. Right, database page. We do not have DB file here, do we? We have the path, but we have not opened it for writing. Maybe we should extract that as well. Oh, but this one's creating it. That's right. We wanted to do that on purpose. Okay. In fact, oh, there are more errors up here. Mutability is bubbling up. All right, let's open that file. So the database file, we will use standard fs open. No. It's on file, isn't it? File open. If you only need to read or write, okay, nope. Seem like such a chill guy. Well, thank you. This is my kind of, relaxing time. Interesting. How do we use open options? File options append. Oh, I see. So you create a file options object. It's the builder pattern, and then you ask it to open off of that object. Hey, Codefend, how are you? I don't think I've ever used this. Now in our case, we need write. We do not want create. In fact, we want it to error out if we're creating a file. Ah, well, thank you. It's good to see me streaming regularly again. I appreciate that. If you do append true and not write true, it doesn't actually set write automatically. Really? Oh, that's funny. Okay. Centered FS. Was that under file? No, it's just open options. And we want, I guess we could do like all options are initially set to false. Okay, great. And is that different than if you were to get it off of file? Instead of new, append true. Okay. Interesting. It's a shortcut. I don't know which one's shorter. Read true. I think we want read false. I'm going to be explicit here. And true, yes. Open, create false. At create. Oh, that's right. And we're in Tokyo Land. There's also create new. Ah. In this case, we want to ensure that we're not creating something new. It's like a DB open. Should probably include the path. My mistake. Okay, it should just be a DB path. It's been an early morning for me. Not clicking on all cylinders. Tokio has the same open options builder. Yeah, it does all the file IO in a separate thread. And I think we would want this in a separate thread. Just so that when this code is used, it doesn't block other database updates or whatnot. So we don't just hang the thread that the runtime's on. Okay. Oh, yes, we have to await it. Okay, so we have our DB file. Great. Right, database page. What is going on here? Arguments are incorrect. Number data checksum size. Number data checksum size. Page number? Oh. No, that's data checksum. Page size? Oh, it's not in scope. Okay, that would be off of that other object that we neglected to pass in. Okay, now we have page size being passed in. We need to await this. And DB file is needing to be borrowed. Oops, 7 mut That's not going to work. Okay. Nearly there. But what is missing? What are we missing when we stream the database update and we have an end checksum? We want to ensure that we check the end checksum. We do all of this streaming, we get all of the updated pages. But if we don't actually do something with it, there's no point. Fix me. Check the end checksum. And then here, if the page has a DB checksum, it does. It's G dot. Well, in Vim mode, I don't know what it is normally. I guess we could hover. They usually have the key bindings available everywhere. So if you hover on something, you'll usually see key bindings, which is great. All right, I feel like the next pass will be validating everything. Hmm. Oh, you have a little VS Code key mod thing. It doesn't. It selects the first. Oh, okay. Yeah. C dash something for, yeah. I did the same thing in Vim for a while. Or NeoVim. I think it was NeoVim. You know, maybe we should start to update these as we do it. So this stream database updates, we write the database page, the reason we're doing this. Oh, we should pass the DB checksum into this. This would be an option to a U32. If that exists, validate and explode if it doesn't match. This is my result here. How do I do that? Oh, probably when I extracted it into a function, it wrapped that. Yes. It didn't look like something I would normally do. Okay, drop something. or two on my stream in order to get an okay unit in a one-liner. Oh, that's funny. I'm actually using drop here. Where was it? Archive connection? Oops. I forget where it was. Context, maybe? Oh, here. Maybe it was a while ago. Yeah. I don't normally have a use for, wait, why? Go back. We're dropping the database stream. Why? This is the end of the function. It drops automatically there. It's expressive. It says what it's doing. We need it to drop so that it continues. Oh, in the legacy days. Yes, yes. Long ago. Many, many lines ago. Okay. So we have this drop. I like the expressiveness of this. We could simply move the comment. Drop the string to signal that we're done. We'll drop automatically. Now we need to be able to say what this is doing to the server. Oh, this is the server. It causes the client to finish writing the database, to close and sync the database. Use drop as end stream. That the implementation of drop is cute, right? You have function, end stream, and you can just take whatever. And it just does nothing. Right? This is effectively drop. You pass ownership of it into a function and it just ends. Oh, I didn't know that you could alias with use. I know that you could just implement your own drop. Although I'm not certain. Hold on a sec. Is there compiler magic as well with drop? Let's say we take a peek. We have diagnostics. It's inline, but it basically does nothing. Yeah. Okay. Oh, manually drop does have compiler magic, though. I've never heard of manually drop. I am curious. Let's see. A wrapper to inhibit the compiler from automatically calling T's destructor. Manually drop is guaranteed to have the same layout and bit validity as T, and is subject to the same layout optimizations as T. As a consequence, it has no effect on the assumptions that the compiler makes about its contents. That's interesting. Fun. All right, back to the code. So that's there. I can close that. Coming back to DB, where we are trying to ensure that we're updating. Hold on, what's going on? Oh, the database checksum. Do we know that? We do know what it is. It's in DB info. It's DB checksum. But it needs to be some. Let's see. Museum says C++, you may have a defined destructor order that isn't the drop order in Rust. Oh, interesting. You would use that to match up when things are freed in the right order. Gotcha. It's useful for doing forget and then remembering the value at a later point. Oh, I see. Huh. I could see how those two things would be useful together. All right. One thing that we have not done in here is that each time we write a database page, we need to update the DB checksum. Write DB page. And let's make sure this is doing it. Rust doesn't have a defined drop order. It's top to bottom, fields in a struct, but nothing on paper says it is. Yeah, I understood that it was top to bottom. Huh. So it's just, you know what? I even saw a thing in my news stream today that said Rust needs a spec. I'm sure for certain applications, certain types of maybe government work, they would want it to have one. Oh, no way. Miri randomizes the drop order? Oh, my. Huh. That'd be in the ABI spec. All right, we got about 25 more minutes here. Let's see if we can get this plugged in. Because right now, I'm going to go test data plane. Unused event. This option, yes. Okay, try again. This should fail gloriously. Like a happy little accident. They just pause forever. Never ending. Just sitting there, waiting. Patiently waiting. As for a spec, there's 2 or 3 being worked on. Oh, yes. I've heard of oxide and ferrous. Wow. That's got to be a lot of work to write a full-on spec for Rust. I wonder if that would help it get implemented by another compiler team. Oh, I was curious. It was test database stream and test database download. Got it. Because they end up resulting in just waiting for data. Got it. MRC and GCC RS are re-implementations of Rust in other languages. Hmm. Oh, I didn't realize that Crane Lift had its own front end. Okay. If the page has a checksum, we need to update it. Now, we need current checksum. Actually, we need this DB page object. Which is, I hate the naming on this. We'll rename that self.checksumdb, get db. CraneLift is a backend, but it can be used with the GCCRS front end. Got it. Yeah. Rust has a lot of fancy and complex things. Rusty dev pace is like trying to lasso a meteor. Yeah. You know, maybe when Rust is complete. So we want DB checksums because after we make a change to, oh wait, we want that in here. And here. Maybe? No, because we're passing the DB checksum here, so that would be done inside of the right DB page. Yeah, this goes away. We have these to-dos in the wrong spot. All right, well, we don't have a database path. All we have is a DB. So that's the file. Can we can get a path off of a file, can't we? Something in the back of my mind is saying no. Yeah, it's a no. Because it could have been moved after you opened it. Basically, have a file handle. And after you've opened the file, anything could have happened to the metadata about the file system, where it is in the file system. I do not like that we have to pass in the file name in order to do this. Maybe we just pass in the DB checksum object. Sorry, the structure that holds all the checksums for the pages. We could do that. Oh, I'm going to kick on my heater again. Be right back. Okay. Otherwise, I'm going to be wearing fingerless gloves today. Yeah, I don't like how this is more or less coming together. Most of it I like. Most of it I like. The pieces that I'm uncomfortable with at the moment, the way that we're handling updating the database checksums, the way that DB checksum is keyed off of full paths, wherever it is. Oh, here. I don't like this. I feel like the path buff shouldn't be here. It should be there. And these should be maybe strings, file names, just something slightly different. It doesn't gel. Right? There's something off about this, and it's bleeding into the other locations. I mean, part of me is kind of okay with having the full paths, but that's not how the rest of the system is set up. When we start the system, we say, go and hash all of these files in this directory that happen to be databases. But we don't know that the location of that directory is the same on all systems. So we pass around the name of the file in that directory as opposed to the full path. I guess these don't have to be full paths. They could be partials, right? Pathbuff could be a relative. As path, clear into box, new. Push. I think it's what from is relative, right? So it could be relative. So we could store relative paths here from the parent directory here. I like that better. Strings feel a little weird, I have to admit. Strings don't map, I don't know, absolutely to file system names and paths. Not all file systems have to be UTF-8 or are UTF-8. Right, right. So I like having partials here, like a relative path to the base path. Why don't we rename this to base path? Turns out it's not actually being used. Bum, bum, bum. JSON isn't UTF-8 either. Oh, that's right. It's UTF-16. Hmm. Let's create another type relative path, just to be a little descriptive. Relative path. In fact, doing this lets us have structure. It doesn't have to be a flat directory. I like that. But it does mean that we need to update. So when we're using the type state pattern here, and I'm changing my focus for the stream to focusing on updating db checksum, and then we'll propagate that into the other code. So we have base path. Okay, db list should be a list of relative dbs. Okay. Oh, interesting. So technically, Rust Analyzer is a second party, was third party. I remember when it moved. Front ends. We're talking about front ends for us. Is it actually in? So talking about Chalk, approved to become the next borrow checker for Rust 2024. Is it actually behind you know, flag that you could use with Nightly or something? We're just going to go through this code real quick. We don't need that. List. Let's say that's base path. Stores. Okay. Message. db file open error. Oh, it is a dash C flag. Okay. A mere formality is the name of it. Funny. I think that's familiar. I wonder if you've mentioned that to me before. Nico was very punny. I approve. Initial DB path. This is the base path. What was it? Command D. Whoa. Whoa. Too much. Interesting. It's not going into insert mode. Append, insert. No change. I was in some other third mode. So if I hit Command D, I'm in visual mode. Then I have to hit escape to go into normal mode. And insert mode. It's Nico's new take on Polonius, which is also a pun. Except mere formality works on mirror, the thing that mirror evaluates. A mere formality is a formalization of the trait solver and borrow checker. So a mere formality of mirror. That's great. STBs should give us relative paths now. Okay, that's for the error. So we get the path. And if it is SQLite, then this is a filter map. So we wrap it in sum and return it. Okay. Now we want this to be a relative path. How do we get a relative path from an absolute path? Shrink to, try reserve. Oh, what is shrink to? As path capacity clear. Okay. Strip prefix is what I want. Components or strip prefix. Interesting. Oh, I see. So you basically iterate until it's different. Returns a path that, when joined with into base, yields self. Got it. Okay, yeah. Strip prefix looks pretty good. I think this is exactly what I'm looking for. Does it use components under the hood? Yes, it does. Look at that. Okay. So we want strip prefix, base path, unwrap? No, probably not. Errors if base is not a prefix of self. Well, that would be unexpected. Although this is file system stuff, that anything could happen. Maybe as an entry, it is represented without, say, symlink or some different mount point. Let's hope that doesn't happen. So we will return relative path. Oh, and that is Path to owned, sure. Okay. Heater kicked off. Be right back. To keep from overwhelming this, goodness, 24, 20, oh, it's going to be 22-year-old little space heater that I have in here. To keep from overwhelming it, I have to get it so that the temperature, the heating element just barely kicks on. And then it heats for a while. Maybe raises the temperature in the room a degree. And then it kicks off. Right? And it'll hold just at that. Um, so if the room gets cold, it'll kick on again. But if I want it to be warmer in here, I have to go over and turn it just a little bit more until it kicks on. And you can check is Symlink and is relative. That's a good idea. Isn't that's a really old uh, issue. Here's part of the thing for the new stuff. The trace solver is first and it's accepted. Let's take a peek. Next generation trade solver, July 22nd. Oh, of 2024. Oh, this is a new thing. The next 6 months, we plan to extend the next generation's trade solver as follows. That's pretty cool. Oh, I see. So Rust project goals is the Rust 2024 tracker. Nice. Now this here should be relative from the base. How can we enforce that? So let's say somebody says, I want to add a database. We say this must be relative to the other thing. We could always join it with the base one. Relative DB path. Oh, so the Rust 2024 pieces and that issue in particular will help with the orphan rules. How are the orphan rules going to change for Rust 2024? Because it's in the issue, but it'd be a little TLDR. Oh shoot, we're coming up on the hour. I'm gonna have to bail soon. Oh, improves diagnostics and performance. Well, that's nice. What is the right level to convert these to absolute paths? Oh yeah, this here is wrong. Like a long time ago, they made it so you could infiltrate on, oh, vector T and other generic types. Oh, nice. Okay, so more local case symbols could be solved with it. Oh, that's handy. Well, I need to get going. So let's continue this raid train. Browse. Who do we want to raid today? Oh, am I the only one doing Rust today? What's Brooke doing? Oh, he's creating an AI talk. We're going to raid Togglebit. I have to get going, so I'm going to have to raid and run. But it's just how it is, you know. Well, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. It's been fun chatting. Also, TLDR path parent, path canonical eyes are things you'd want to use. Ah, very useful. Thank you. All right. Whoa. He's playing a video game. Do we stop? Like what is this? All right. Well, you guys enjoy. Sorry. Till next time. Bye, y'all.